a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The bits.
So I can feel young on the inside.
We are old. We are so old.
We are the Crystal Olds.
Correct.
Welcome to the Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Robert.
And Charlie.
Charlie, maybe that joke that I made about us being old, maybe that was too far.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far. You can never go back.
I can never go back, but speaking of going too far, that's the name of the episode we're looking at today. Season 2, episode 21, Too Far, which premiered October 15th, 2015, if you watched it on TV. However, if you were at New York Comic Con, it premiered October 10th, 2015, and I was, before we started recording, trying to figure out if I went to this panel or not. I went to the panel the year afterwards. I just don't remember if I went to this panel.
It's tough to say.
Maybe I'm just losing my mind.
Do you think your sister will remember?
No, definitely not. You know what? Now I think about it, because if I went with my sister, who did not know or care about Steven Universe, more than likely, I did not go to this panel.
There you go.
Tragedy.
Robert went to the Comic-Con that this episode premiered at, but did not go to the panel.
It's because I was homophobic.
Can't believe you're gay and homophobic.
I had a lot to go through. No, wait. I just realized, no, this wasn't my senior year of high school. I already graduated by this point. This was my freshman year of college. I was broke. That's why I didn't fucking go.
Oh boy. Yeah.
How things don't change in 10 years. 10 years later, New York Comic Con is just around the corner, figuratively. And I'm 90% sure there's going to be Percy Jackson stuff. And I'm like, I want to be there. I'm a content creator for Percy Jackson, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying my luck at media tickets, news media, like a quote unquote reporter or whatever, so I can interview staff. And I hope I get it, because then I get a free ticket, because otherwise I will have to pay money. And Comic-Con tickets got expensive.
Yep. Comic-Con just gets more and more expensive each year.
If you can get a ticket, because scalpers love scalping, and they love buying every ticket possible and then selling them back for like triple the price.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, they are going too far.
Correct.
So, Charlie, before we go through the episode, do we have any mail? Did the postman bring us any post? Folks, we told you this is what was going to happen. That Charlie was going to cry. Look at that, a grown adult crying.
I do it quite often.
Yeah. Just yesterday, you were crying at a documentary about snakes.
They don't have any arms. No. Okay. Fun fact. We're I had a friends over the other night. Wow.
Ooh.
I hang out with people sometimes, not usually.
Charlie being super duper social. Look at them.
I know, wild. We were playing Quiplash, and we found out that on this version, you could, enter in your own things. Somebody entered in what made Charlie cry today, or this week, or something. And one of them came up with leaving the house. And I'm like, too real. That's just correct.
I cry a little bit every time I get up in the morning to go to work. And it's like, why do I have to get up and leave my comfy warm bed to go to work?
Right?
Mm.
It's a crime, or it should be.
We are the Crystal Olds.
That's our new theme song for the bits.
No, it's not. We're not old. We're still young. We're in our prime. We're just in our late 20s. It's not a death sentence or anything. We are. Listen, I think all the other podcasters on the network are like 30 plus, so they don't want to hear shit from us.
This is true. We are the bebes. No, wait, actually, Sam's the baby. Sam is the baby still. We are the middle child.
Sam's like 22?
Something ridiculous like this.
Something very young. I remember seeing something about Sam being very young.
I feel like Sam was like 19 or something when he joined. I have no memory of ages.
And yet he
Ages.
seems to have his life more put together than I do.
What the
Damn.
fuck, Sam? We're coming after you in this episode.
We're
How
coming
dare
after
you?
Sam, who's not here, unfortunately. God,
It's
I miss
because you
I
know
miss
what?
Australia man.
It's because he's a cis-het white man.
Now that was a joke too far.
All right. You want to talk about Too Far? Let's talk about Too Far and how Peridot is peridotting so hard in this episode.
My favorite part of this episode is when Peridot jumps out on screen and says it's Peridot in time.
If I had to rename this episode, I would just rename it The Tism.
It really is the Tism TM, because I saw a lot of myself in Peridot in this episode and I did not quite like it.
Right? Okay. I feel like it's so appropriate that we're covering this now that I've officially been like, okay, I'm probably autistic. My therapist says I'm probably autistic. There you go. Do I need an official diagnosis? No, because reasons. I think that's sufficient enough for me.
That is sufficient enough. And sufficient enough for me is to start talking about the episode, which begins with Peridot recording log entry 7112 while the Crystal Gems are working on the drill. Pearl is like, hey, Peridot, come over and look at the layout for the drill. And Peridot's like, why am I working for you again? And then she's like, oh, yeah. And she plays a little pre-recorded message. She's like, oh, the Peridot is like actually good at building shit. I don't want to say it, but like, damn.
Yeah, okay, we love this. So Steven has to explain that like they took all of her shit away from her. So we had to give her something. You know, she loves her tech, and so we give her a recorder because she doesn't have her like, you know, thing to do her usual log dates, her usual screens.
She doesn't have her like futuristic ass iPad.
I can't wait till she gets her actual iPad though.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, she requires it. She's an iPad child.
iPad children do be ruling the world at this point. And so, yeah, they're talking about how, like, oh, why'd you give that recorder to her so she can have something to do? And then Garnet shows up. She's like, I'm ready to help. And Peridot's like, you're making me uncomfortable. Can you unfuse? And the appropriate response when someone is uncomfortable with you just existing is to tie them up in one of those children harnesses things and put them far away from you.
I wish I could do that to so many people who are uncomfortable with our existence, Robert. Is it possible? Is it possible?
Technically might be, like, I'm pretty sure there's a unfortunately strong enough case for them to be like, that person assaulted me, or like battery charges, whatever. So, you know, not fun.
I just want to treat them like the toddlers they are.
Well, Garnet treats Peridot like the toddler she kind of is. I'm not trying to infantilize Peridot, as we've said before, but also it is just very funny. That's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. And then the mic drop moment when when Garnet is like, oh, well, she's being very like shitty towards me and that annoys me, so I want her away from me. Sort of turning what Peridot said back on her.
There is a difference between Peridot's autism and then Peridot's bigotry. And like this episode does like gray the line a little bit because like it's a lot, but she was in fact, you know, part of Homeworld and that entire hierarchy, which I think we started talking about last episode, how we're starting to learn more about how the hierarchy works. Especially in this episode, we get so much more again.
Right. So Steven and Amethyst are then shown bringing scrap metal to Pearl, and Pearl's like, no, I need tungsten. And they're like, Pearl, collectively we have like one brain cell that we share between us, and it's not with us right now. What the fuck is tungsten?
And Peridot, who has most of the brain cells, is like, hey, I have an idea. Is this when she brings up getting the drill? Or maybe that's later. But still, she has most of the brain cells today.
Yeah. So Steven and Amethyst are like, well, fuck Pearl, who needs tungsten. We're going to walk over to Peridot, and Peridot needs a leverage optimizer to open the microwave. Amethyst starts making fun of Peridot's lack of understanding of Earth culture, which I find, you know, I wouldn't say ableist. It's just like poking fun. Haha, you have gaps in your knowledge. I do that with my friends sometimes, right?
Yeah. How about this? Assume that it's like me when I'm grasping at straws for a word.
It's like when Ethan and I are like, Charlie, how the fuck have you never listened to Freebird? Which, by the way, was homework like 3 episodes ago. Did you listen to Freebird? ADHD at its finest.
I didn't know that was homework.
I said verbatim at the end of that episode, Charlie, here's your homework. Listen to Freebird.
Well, I think I failed. I think I failed the class.
You did. I'm going to assign you the homework again. You can turn it in late for half credit. Listen to Freebird the next time we record.
Okay, I'll do it live on the recording.
No, don't do it live on the recording. It'll kill the vibes. So, Amethyst is making fun of Peridot's lack of Earth knowledge. The only thing Peridot really knows is that butts are butts.
Yeah, everything else, it's like vision spear, scent sponge, gravity connectors, and
Gravity
then
connectors for legs is so fucking wild. It's amazing. Charlie, I have a silly question to ask you.
Mhm.
You know esteemed science guy of our generation, Hank Green, correct?
I know that Hank Green exists.
Good enough. That's all you need to know. He
Okay.
once pondered the question, is butt legs?
No,
Why not?
because it's your gluteus maximus.
Which is connected to your legs.
No, there's a different muscle.
All right. I'm not awake enough to have this conversation. If I can give a little behind the scenes of this recording, Charlie and I be tired. We're trying to have charismatic energy, you know, podcast. Hey, subscribe to the Patreon and you know, DashCon 2, even though that's a dead fucking dream.
You know what? We're gonna bring back a different joke in this episode, and I'm waiting for it.
Are we? Oh, we are.
Butts, you know, butts are what we were talking about. But this is when Peridot has the brain cell. She has the good idea. She's like, hey, Pearl, you're looking for something like to be a drill. Why don't we use part of an injector from the kindergarten? Like, let's just repurpose some tech that already exists. Which, why didn't we think of this sooner? I feel like we could have just been using all of the tech from the kindergarten instead of the shit that's just lying around in the barn. It might be more useful.
Here's the thing: the brain cell was not in anyone's brain until it went into Peridot's brain at this exact second.
I'm just saying, I would have been stripping the entire kindergarten.
You would have been
parts.
stripping?
Yes, I would have been stripping. Absolutely.
Damn, Charlie.
Right there.
I don't know how that's going to help fight the cluster, but you do you, I guess, buddy.
Sometimes you just gotta strip to save the world.
Oh my god.
Listen. Once I did that in Dungeons and Dragons.
I was so fucking scared once you said the word once. I'm like, where is this going? I felt fear.
My character in Dungeons and Dragons did a striptease to distract the guards.
Did it work?
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother. All right. So no one to go to the kindergarten, least of all Peridot, because she's in timeout. However, she can go with chaperones, which Steven and Amethyst volunteer to be.
Yeah, because like they're vibing right now, you know? They find everything that she says funny. And once again, this is like the autism thing, is that she's like, oh, you're finding the weird things that I'm saying that I find to be very normal, funny, interesting. I'm gonna rewire my brain a little bit. And so I'm gonna say that more often because it gets a positive reaction out of you. So therefore I should do that, right? Yeah?
Yeah, oh boy. So we're in the kindergarten, we're taking apart a drill. I love how Steven is just using Unga Bunga caveman brain and whacking it with a rock.
Yes. We're not really taking apart this drill very great. Also, Peridot learns what the word nerd is, but really doesn't.
Kind of. Yeah, like she's like, what is a nerd? And Amethyst is like, that's what you are. Lamau. And then like, because this is 2015, so you know, Lamau, those meme sunglasses slide onto Amethyst's face, the air horns play.
Yeah, she's a nerd.
Unfortunately, Peridot is kind of, how do we say, problematic.
Yeah, because what is it? She has the word for garnet she uses on her recorder is the permafusion. And so that gets the conversation started about everything about the crystal gems specifically. She's like, I could call her something. I could call her two things. Two clots. She's walking around like one person. That's weird. Amethyst's still looking at it for some reason.
All I could think about during this scene was the word I want to say. I can't because there are preschool children, preschool toys present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny. So yeah, Peridot's like, man, that fusion is so fused all the time. Not even for her combat. It's weird. It makes me uncomfortable. Okay, Karen, shut the fuck up.
Yep, Peridot is a little bit of a Karen at points in this episode.
Mm.
And it's so sad.
And then Peridot moves on to talk about Amethyst, and she's like, well, essentially, you should be the leader. You're like the best by default out of the three of them.
First, she starts making fun of Steven because Amethyst is like, wait, what about Steven? Tell me about Steven. What's weird about him? And Peridot's like, I don't even know what the fuck he is. Like, he's a gem, but also human. And this is where we get the joke. Robert, this is where Rebecca Piss comes back.
Rebecca Piss, let's go!
Because Peridot makes fun of how much he, like, consumes and then has to expel, and the fact that he has a whole room just for expelling, like, Jesus Christ.
And Steven's embarrassed about it. He's like, don't talk about it. I'm like, brother, somebody give Steven the book Everyone Poops so he can, like, be chill with himself.
I mean, to be fair, he's around people who do not have to poop. Therefore, it is weird to them. Amethyst does it because she likes it. But Peridot is like, what the fuck is pooping?
You have now said a second sentence that has instilled fear into me.
Am I wrong, though?
Third sentence.
Not Peridot. Amethyst eats food and then created organs inside of herself so that she could expel that food.
I hate this.
They've literally mentioned it on the show.
I hate this. So yeah, they start talking about how
she said she pissed outside too.
So yeah, they're talking about how. Peridot's now talking about how, like, you're supposed to be, like, technically the best, even though you came out weird. You're, like, too small, too, like, weak. You're supposed to be bigger. You're like a defective one. And Amethyst just gets, like, more and more pissed. And, like, Peridot even points out, oh, that's the hole you came out of. It's small and shitty, just like you.
At first, Amethyst is like, you think I should be the one in charge? That's the best joke yet. Like, me, them? What are you talking about? But when it gets really, like, specific and targeted about, like, the hole she comes out of and her size and everything, we already know that Amethyst is, like, very sensitive about these things. Like, about how she came out late and she doesn't know any other amethyst. She didn't know any other gems until she met Pearl and Garnet and Rose. So, like, she doesn't know.
It's like that John Mulaney joke. No, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Literally. And it's like, they don't technically say it in this episode, but we get to it, I want to say maybe either later this season or next season, but Amethyst is supposed to look like Jasper. Like, she's supposed to be big and tough and strong. Literally like Jasper, which is why Amethyst starts calling her sis later on. It's like, they're both quartzes. They're both quartz soldiers. Yeah, but, I mean, when someone is basically just saying, ha, you're small, ha, 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 is kind of sad. Because technically both Peridot and Amethyst have, like, the same problem.
Mm.
They're both gems. I want to, like, associate it with, like, dwarfism, but because they're supposed to be taller.
Right.
Peridot has other things that differentiate her from other Peridots, but Amethyst, so far, it seems to just be her size, as far as I can tell. Because as Peridot even asked, like, why don't you rip this drill off here? And Amethyst displays her feat of strength. It's like, yeah, she's just as strong as any other.
Yeah.
She's just small. She's not even half a head taller than Steven. Like...
Oh, I'm being reminded of when the Percy Jackson casting got announced and everyone was like, oh my god, Leia's 3 apples tall. The good old days. TM.
Yeah, fucking Walker, he's so tall now. It's intimidating.
Yeah, teenage puberty. Be a bitch.
That whole thing, like, comes to a head, and so, I mean, they have the drill now, and they go back to the barn once again. And Peridot, you know, she adjusted her behavior in that, like, oh, Amethyst likes when I make the jokes about words that I don't understand, so I should make another one of those at her. And, you know, she's like, what's this, a rhythmatic pulverizer instead of a hammer? And Amethyst is still pissed about what happened.
As she has every right to be.
Peridot has no fucking clue. Because, like, it's literally just how, I'm not great at wording things. And also, I'm not a licensed therapist or expert on like any of this stuff. But
Right.
it's literally just like how the conversation was going, and she didn't know when it turned the other way. She's like, "Oh, this is the thing that you like. I just keep going with that, right?" She goes too far. Ha 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 ha. And that's the problem, is that she didn't understand that it hurt Amethyst's feelings. I mean, Amethyst is kind of a closed off person anyway.
Mm.
If she doesn't necessarily say I'm mad at you, but if you read her body language, you can tell.
Yeah, she's like shunning Peridot, like not listening to her. There's even a point where Peridot's like trying to call at her from afar, and Amethyst turns away and she's like, she's not even looking at me.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like, wait, why did her body language change? What's going on? I'm so confused at this situation. I did everything right. And so Peridot lashes out, of course. She's like, why do I care about any of you guys? And so she's working on the drill once again, trying to make this new piece from the kindergarten work. I forgot that Steven is literally holding her leash while she's up on top of it too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, she's literally a toddler. So she accidentally makes this thing go, and it's like, oh shit, it's like digging up the dirt. It's drilling everywhere. Fuck. Steven jumps onto it, and Amethyst almost gets run over by it.
Which would have just poofed her at worst, right? Like, are we
Yeah,
particularly worried? Like,
she gets poofed all the time. She's fine.
but she had that whole like growth episode where she's like, oh, I gotta be me, whoever that is.
Yeah, but Peridot still, pushes her out of the way while
Push
Steven
it to the limit,
gets
limit.
really dizzy turning the drill off.
As one does. Being dizzy sucks.
And then I think this is like a screen cap that people probably use because it's ends up being Peridot on top of Amethyst. The I don't know what the ship is called. Paramethyst? Amidot? Whatever
Maybe.
that ship.
Yeah. They're
Probably
shipped,
Amidot.
aren't they? I forgot about it. Here's the thing.
They are.
Most all of the crystal gems in one way, shape, or form are shipped with each other.
Yeah, I mean they're all gay. Of course they are.
Sans Steven. Wait, Robert, but I've seen Sans Steven.
You're shipping Sans and Steven?
Shut
Like-
the fuck up. That is actually a ship, by the way. Anyway,
I know.
die. So Pearl and Garnet return, everything destroyed. Pearl's like, how did you destroy everything? We were gone for 5 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. Peridot still feels bad that she upset Amethyst, so she plays to her the rest of log entries 7, 11, 12, where she's like, hey, I'm still learning. I fucked up. I'm sorry. And Amethyst is like, hey, we're cool. Nerd, Lamau, boo, 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 boo. And then he runs away.
I love how specifically the language used here, where Peridot's like, I've concluded they're all defective, but so am I actually, because somehow I hurt my friend. Like, I failed my mission, I'm working with the enemy, and I failed my friend. Like,
it's the Buzz
cute.
Lightyear meme. She's kind of going through the Buzz Lightyear meme, years of academy training wasted.
Seriously.
And so then the episode ends with Steven asking how Peridot feels, and Peridot responds, big.
Cause they're the shorty squad.
They're the shorty squad.
And I think earlier specifically, it was like said that she made Amethyst feel small. So like it helps.
All I want
It's
to
good.
do is see you turn into a giant woman, metaphorically. And also, you're not really a woman because gems have no concept of gender, but you know what I mean. Hey, Charlie, would you like to go to the Crystal Temple for some Crystal Temple trivia?
I sure would, Robert. I sure would.
Hey, Charlie, you're gonna freak out. This was the last episode of 2015.
No way!
Because the staff in Cartoon Network take the winter holiday off. All shows go on hiatus for the rest of the year. And I guess all Cartoon Network shows are forever on hiatus because Cartoon Network died. Shot in the streets of Detroit.
Shot through the heart. Can't believe it.
And who's to blame? Greedy executives.
Max.
Yeah.
Where Steven Universe isn't even on it. Can't believe. This episode aired at NYCC early. Did you know that?
This is the last episode where we see Steven as 13 years old. That means that this episode most likely takes place on August 14th, which is the day before Steven's birthday.
Pearl using tungsten as the outer shell for the drill is plausible in real life, as tungsten has one of the highest melting points of all the elements and an extremely high density.
Gem genetics are revealed to be known as gemetics, which, I mean, why did neither of us point that out?
Cute. Listen, there were so many puns in this episode, actually. Steven and Amethyst were making puns right and left. It was really cute. Like when they said tungsten, Amethyst was like tongue. Peridot states that Pearl is prone to spontaneously singing, crying, and singing while crying. This could be a meta joke at how frequently characters cry and sing within the show.
Charlie, how often do you sing?
Quite often.
Charlie, how often do you cry?
Quite often.
Charlie, how often do you sing while you cry?
Not that often, actually.
But it's happened at least once. The concept of errors is first introduced in this episode when Peridot refers to an injector as Era 1.
I didn't even catch that. Cultural references. The name Too Far is most likely a reference to when someone takes a joke too far, which is what Peridot did.
Are we sure? Are we sure, Wikia? Stevie
I'm
Universe
not
Wikia? Are we sure?
I don't know. Maybe that's not a reference. Who is to say?
Peridot recording herself in her tape recorders as a reference to Special Agent Dale Cooper of the 90s cult classic Twin Peaks.
On Peridot's voice recorder, there is a picture of Jesse Zook's Twitter profile picture.
The jet engine that Pearl is disassembling is visually similar to a Boeing 747 Rolls-Royce RB211 engine.
Alrighty. The part where Peridot jumps on Amethyst is quite similar to Tigger bouncing on his friends from the Winnie the Pooh series from Disney. How did I not fucking catch this? I love Tigger. I have 2 Tiggers on my bed right now. I love Tigger. Tigger is everything.
I feel like I could do the voice, but I can't quite grasp it in my brain. That's the point.
I can't do it.
It's me, Tigger. T-I-double-G-er. Close enough.
T-I-double-G-er.
I forgot how it goes. I haven't seen Winnie the Pooh in a billion years. Leave me alone. Anyway, now we're on to your favorite section of the notes, Charlie.
Continuity?
The crystal gems are still working on the drill to the cluster.
Wow. Peridot, Amethyst, and Steven get a drill head from one of the injectors that have collapsed on the floor of the kindergarten. This is the same injector that collapsed during Pearl's and Amethyst's fight in On the Run.
Peridot still refers to fingers as touch stumps from friendship.
Garnet attaches Peridot to a nearby fence by a leash, as half-jokingly suggested by Pearl in Catch and Release.
Jasper previously referred to Amethyst as an overcooked runt when they first met. Peridot reveals in this episode that her statement was true. Amethyst is a quartz-type gem like Jasper, and like Jasper, should have been tall and an intimidating soldier, but she stayed in the ground at the kindergarten for too long, overcooked, and came out small. Is it? Oh, the revelation of quartz gems being created for war also explains Rose Quartz's legacy as both a great gem warrior and military leader.
In the previous episode, Peridot confirmed that Homeworld has a caste system, with hundreds of pearls as custom-made servants who are inherently low-ranking, but a status symbol for higher-ranking gems that possess them. Peridots are a technician caste, ranking slightly higher than pearls, but low enough that it is uncommon for them to have their own pearls. In this episode, Peridot has confirmed that quartz-type gems are a soldier caste, and they outrank Peridots and pearls. Rebecca Sugar stated in the 2015 guidebook that Jasper and Amethyst are quartz gems, as was presumably Rose Quartz, and therefore Steven before their true identity was revealed. The similarity between Amethyst and Jasper is hinted at in their character designs and abilities, particularly their shared spin dash attack ability. So I feel like the way we should have known that Rose wasn't a quartz is the fact that she doesn't have that.
It's almost like it means something.
Mm-hmm.
Amethyst is still easily offended when someone mocks her or her origin, like an On the Run.
As she should. At the beginning of the episode, Peridot states, "It's the third rotation of the Earth since commencement of a collaborative approach to stopping the cluster." It is not clear whether this means that it's been 3 days since she agreed to start working with Pearl at the end of Back to the Barn, or 3 days since she agreed to start working with Steven and the Crystal Gems at the end of Catch and Release. Ba-da-da.
Ba-da-da. And now we have to give our Pearl point to someone. I don't want to give it to Peridot. Like, she learned a lesson, but she learned a lesson at the expense of Amethyst. So I'm going to give it to Amethyst instead.
I'm going to give it to Gravity Connectors.
Very good.
And now for the question. Have you ever taken a joke too far, Robert? I feel like the neurodivergent people in the room will just say yes.
God. Yes. I live with a lot of regret, especially of my younger years. I'll be like, oh, this would be funny, and it ended up hurting people who rightfully don't talk to me more because I hurt them. So I'm like, well, fuck. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've taken jokes too far.
Yeah. It's just a vibe. It's just my entire life. Why do you think that I stay awake at night thinking about all the things that I did wrong today?
Depression, anxiety.
Yes, but the anxiety was caused by the neurodivergence.
Undiagnosed and I almost said ambrosia. No,
Undiagnosed ambrosia.
I meant insomnia.
As far as I know, I'm not an insomniac. I think it is the tism actually that keeps me awake at night. It's like it's the comfortability in my own space. But yes, I've definitely taken many a joke too far, and I've hurt friends, and I always feel shitty. That's just my entire life, bro.
I try to live with the idea of like, yeah, I've done shitty things. I'm not a shitty person. Just keep moving forward, ask for forgiveness, and do better than you did yesterday.
I'm
Rebecca
not as
Piss,
positive.
am I right? This is getting too sappy and serious. We got to say Rebecca Piss, or else our wonderful listeners won't listen anymore. But that concludes another episode of The
Are
Bits.
you saying they won't listen to how sad and neurodivergent we are?
Hey Charlie, hey Charlie, hey Charlie, hey Charlie.
Hey Robert, hey Robert,
Piss sugar.
Hey, what? Piss sugar? Rebecca Piss?
I think every time we say Piss Sugar or Rebecca Sugar now, I'm saying this as if I'm not the one who edited it, who's editing it. But every time we say Rebecca Sugar or Piss Sugar, we should do the like air horns meme.
Okay, well that's for editing Robert to deal with now.
Yeah, editing Robert's gonna hear this like 2 weeks from now and being like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not doing that." Delete.
Maybe it should be actually a toilet flushing. Nope.
If our podcasts were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits. Clearly.
God help us. We are never getting Rebecca Sugar on this podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast's socials at thebitssupod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our diamond line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at our Patreon, patreon.com/thebitsu. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about Steven Universe, or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Steven's Room, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll be talking about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with Steven in some way. No promises.
You can check out our merch store, The Bits SU, on Redbubble to find custom designs made by yours truly. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or even letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. It really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at The Damn Meme Page on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. If you want to have more from me, check out my YouTube channel, also called The Damn Meme Page, where I make videos mainly about Percy Jackson, but also sometimes other fun stuff. The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Burn Before Reading, a podcast about shiterature, where your hosts, Christina and Leela, cringe about writing.
I'm Christina Kahn.
And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading,
the podcast about shiterature.
We're here to examine the terrible writing we did when we were younger.
Like that school project you were really proud of.
Or that poem you wrote when you got dumped.
Well, how about that apology letter you wrote to your mom when you got into that fight?
Or the song you recorded before you knew how to write music.
Okay, don't at me. And we're here to talk about other cringy literary topics along the way.
Like the Library of Alexandria.
And Dewey Decimal.
His name was Melville Dewey.
Oh, well, do we want to get the clips rolling?
I don't think I ever recovered from this in terms of being cool.
Why did I say any of this?
I do like the drama.
So there is actually quite a bit to unpack here.
Oh, all this drama was so addictive as a teenager.
There's no punctuation to it. I'll start with that.
I actually have no memory of this.
There were so many lies that I was telling.
It's not terrible.
No one really taught me how to write a good short story.
That was a journey.
Listen to Burn Before Reading
Every Wednesday, wherever pods are cast.
Dave X Media.